Hello everyone. It's the day before Thanksgiving 2021, and we're going to be hiking around a 1 to 1.5 mile hike on the Deep Gap Trail out and back to search for a plane crash site that's kind of less known. Yeah, there is some information online about it. Tells you different things about it, and a lot of it's kind of conflicting as to what exactly happened and information on it and what happened to the passengers that were involved in the crash. But just to give you some perspective before we get started, there is absolutely no one here. My vehicle's the only one in the parking lot, and on just around this curve here is the upper parking where you can go to the summit and the observation lookout tower. And there's some guys up there doing some construction on the little visitor center or whatever you want to call that up there. But other than that, there's no one here besides me. Weather standpoint, looks like it's gonna be a pretty good day. There's absolutely no wind right now, and it's around 40 degrees and about 11 o'clock, so it's looking like we're probably gonna have a pretty good day. So we're gonna head on down to where the trail officially starts and start my tracking app and get started from there. All right, so we're right here where the Deep Gap trailhead starts. Just to give you a perspective of kind of what we're getting into here. This trail is much longer than what we're going to do today because I've got some other hikes planned. But what we're going to do is we're going to hike to Mount Craig, which is about a mile in. And I'm probably going to go to Big Tom just because we're going to be that much closer to it, and it's just another peak we can bag. But somewhere in between Mount Craig and Big Tom, the airplane crash is just off on a little side path there somewhere. So we're going to hike to that point, to probably to Big Tom after the crash. And then we're going to come back. And then that'll probably be all that's included in this video. And I'll cover as much details as I can to help anyone out that may want to check this out. Really, the purpose of this video is there are some videos on YouTube that kind of mention it and talk about it. But they're very vague as far as telling you, exactly where to go and how to get there. So I'm hoping, after today, if I'm able to find it, we can fix that. So we're going to get started. Mount Craig is 6,647 feet. I'm not exactly sure what Mount Mitchell's exact elevation is, but Mount Craig is the second highest peak east of the Mississippi on the East Coast and in the state of North Carolina. So it is taller than that, at least by a little bit. All right, moving on. If this is your first time being here, hiking from here like me, I just wanted to mention that there are a lot of picnic tables. Looks like there's a water fountain here, and there are some fireplaces around them. And that one down there at the furthest one you can see away probably have an excellent view of the surrounding mountains here. It's a pretty nice picnic area. I imagine it's come certain times of the year and be pretty full. The last time I was up in this general area was about a month ago, right around when the colors were at peak, and it was times where the Parkway was just backed up, and the entrance was actually closed off here because they were at capacity for what I guess the parking allowed them to have in here. Sign here. I'm still just really getting started, but I wanted to mention real quick that this trail is marked with these blazes here, the orange and surrounded in black squares. Not sure how far apart those will be, but judging by how the path is so far, this is probably going to be a very well worn, easy to follow path. Not sure it'll be that way the whole way, but probably for a good ways. Here's another one already. That may have been 40, 50 feet. Just something to keep in mind. Not very far at all from the beginning, from where you start to just descend down over these rock steps. So this will be at least moderate coming back. I'm not sure how it's going to be the whole way to where we're going, but at least coming back it's going to be moderate, not easy as it is going down. Coming up on kind of an opening here. I'm going to just go ahead and assume that that's Mount Craig there in front of us. We're walking directly towards. Off to the side here, have a really nice view. Just kind of walking along the ridge line here. Very nice so far. Trail's kind of turned into just a minor scramble here for just a second, or maybe further. Probably about 2/3 of the way there. Haven't encountered anyone else yet. Ice right there. Right up through here. Stepping off to the side here for a second. A little point here, you can have a nice view, I think. Oh yeah. You look straight through there to the middle, direct middle of the screen is Table Rock and Hawksbill Mountain. Hawksbill on the left, Table Rock on the right. It's a pretty good shot of that. Visibility is not perfect today, but it's pretty good. A lot better than the last time that I was at the top of Mount Mitchell. It was a cloudy and rainy day and did not see anything, no view. I still have a little ways to go But the trail has totally shifted gears from the first few tenths to where it turns to strenuous. You're climbing over big rock boulders and things like this here and there, and then there's some, you know, rock steps, and then it'll kind of flatten off to a little path like this, and you go back up. So it's a pretty interesting trail. It's not flat and dull, that's for sure. Continuing on. Coming up on a sign of some sort here. Telling you to stay on the trail for the next 400 yards. Due to the sensitive plant life. So we'll follow that the best we can. Getting pretty close to almost here at the peak of Mount Craig. This little overlook here looks to be like a good spot to stop and shed one of my layers. I definitely did not need for this. So we were just over there when we started. See a little patch of concrete. That's where we parked. We made it to this peak, and then we'll get to one more. Very nice so far. The when you're in the part that's totally wooded, it has a nice Christmas tree pine smell kind of all the way through it when you're in the wooded areas. Pretty nice touch. All right, so I've located a plane crash after a good 20 to 30 minutes of just exploring, just past the overlook that was in the clip before this, which was Mount Craig. So basically what you'll do from there, you'll continue on the path, and you will see the placard that has Mount Craig on it, and it tells you, just basically tells you that this Mr. Craig was a guy that was involved in creating what is Mount Mitchell State Park. You keep going past that, you start to descend, and you'll keep going. Follow the path like I'm going now. There are several side paths, but there's one section you have to scramble over here. It will kind of let you know that you're close to it. I'm going to point that out in just a second. All right, so this is what I was talking about right here. It's a funny looking formation right here. It's not very big, but you'll just step in between there and then continue on the trail. Still on the main trail at this point. Keep going, you'll see this funky tree right here. Go past it, and there's a giant boulder on the right side. You go past it. And then what you'll do is you'll get right here where this little, probably 12, 13 foot piece of deadfall right here that's uprooted and been cut up and moving the trail is. You go down right here. There's another skinny piece of deadfall right here. From here you can already see it. So I'm gonna put my camera up and climb down there. It ain't very steep, no steeper than any parts on the trail so far, I'd say, but I'm gonna put the camera up and get down there and then pick back up. So this is it. The plane crash is in between Mount Craig and Big Tom. right off the Deep Gap Trail. It's a cockpit. The main section of the trail. And then the high tail wing is right here. Actually, the whole tail end. Wing here's somewhere else out here, I'm assuming. And then the other side of the wing that stretches out is right here. You can see some people took it upon themselves to write their name on it. There's little pieces of it out here. There's another section of it down this way. Yeah, the ground out here is well worn, so it's been trafficked a little bit, you can tell. Kind of makes you wonder where exactly they may have hit at. Wow. All right, so as far as information, I really don't have any to provide. I'm gonna poke around and see if I can find the tail number. Look it up, and if I find it, I'll put a link in the description for something I may research and find from that. But there are several things online, but they kind of conflict. There's some things on Reddit, some comments on YouTube, and a couple other sites. But the information on them is not very consistent. So I think I can say that whoever was on board did not survive. They likely died during the crash. And as far as who it is, I don't know. There's different things, and there are multiple crash sites out here, and there may be some that you could explore and find more of, and some that have probably been removed. But I think this was probably during the 70s, based on what I've read. There's some that's older and more recent than that. It's just hard to say, tie a certain date to this. But this is probably the best angle to see resemblance of a plane, because you've got the tail here and the cockpit and the fuselage up there, and you can see an X right there. You can't see what the rest of it says, but there is an X there. There's some more of it right here. I don't know if I'll be able to make that out to get a full number or not, but this is it. I am kind of surprised that it was so close off the trail. I figured we'd have to do some more scrambling than we had to do to get down here to it, but there's really nothing to it. I mean, there are parts on the trail that I've crossed so far that was, you know, more difficult to maneuver than this. But all in all, getting here and then going back, I would say, I mean, it's got some strenuous, difficult parts, but overall, I would say it's moderate, just on the distance, and you know what I crossed in between here and the start. Going back could be a little more difficult, but it's nothing that anyone can't handle. But I'm gonna take a few pictures and head back. All right, so climb back over Mount Craig. I'm on the backside of it now, heading towards the parking area where I parked at, right at Mount Mitchell. So I'm gonna give a few closing thoughts here and in the video, and one tip. So as far as a strenuous rating, if you're an avid hiker, I would say this is moderate for you. If you're average to below average, I would say it's moderate to strenuous. If you just rarely hike, it's definitely going to be strenuous for you. There are several scramble parts, a lot of rocks, some boulders to climb over, a couple places you have to kind of stoop down. But just keep that in mind. From a solitude standpoint, today was perfect. I encountered one person, and that was on the hike in. Spoke with him for just a minute and then continued on. Aside from that, I have not seen another person yet. And I'm probably about 4/10 of a mile back to the parking area. So today was pretty good. There were times where you could stop and take a break, or even when you're hiking, and it'd just be dead silent as it is right now. Just listen, you hear nothing. And no, I didn't mute the sound. But overall, I'd recommend it. It's a pretty good general area to do a quick out and back hike. Or if you want to make it a long one, you can continue on and finish this trail out and back. I think the total distance, if you do that, is somewhere around 8.5 miles. And it would be pretty taxing if you did all that. Probably wouldn't plan to do much else in the same day if you did. And so one tip I would like to offer is, this is just something that it's obvious that you can do, but most wouldn't think about it. If you have the ability to save this video offline, you could use the last parts up to where you're about to turn off for the plane off the trail to help you get down to it. If you can't download a video offline, then maybe you can screen record the video playing and save it, and then you'll have it and not need signal to access it once you're out here. Just in case, if you're worried you may not find it and be disappointed, or you you get frustrated. But that's gonna do it for this one. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thanks for watching.